a bit, but the Poppy left up and available. This is something that's been banned quite a bit during these playoffs. We'll get through here, will be the final lock-in for Carrier. Not exactly the most
well, as Doran is continuing to put pressure on in this lane, but won't really find himself with a CS advantage. There's a control ward on that tri-brush, but this is a nice setup for Gen.G.
Yep, there's the hook shot to come in. Hextech Ultimatum comes down there as well as the public execution tries to come out here as Doran has to flash, but the flash forward from Keen! And this Camille looking for a first blood, although doesn't have a lot of mana, but the Winter's Bite is going to land. Doran in a lot of trouble, but still dashing away. Oh my goodness, just the Ambessa things, and Doran is actually gonna be okay.
He's down his flash now, is gonna lose a plate here. But it was a dangerous moment there for Ruler topside. Hits level 6.
Yep, that is going to be the stun onto Carrier. Ruler's still there though and does have a lot of damage. As the flash forward and Ruler will find it, dashes after the Corki, and there is first blood. Hoping that he finds some more impact later into the game.
Look at this calculation here from Ruler, knowing he's going to hit 6 off this minion. Goes for the dash forward first. That cooldown is bleeding, right? And he goes for this arc here, grabs the slow, forces the flash, gets his dash back at the last possible second. Dashed first, he gets it right at the end.
Knocked away. Yeah, well, Braum is just, okay, we've got a little bit more of an engage here towards the bottom side. As now Ruler may immediately get punished, does have the barrier, some sidesteps come through, public execution, and he puts Ruler down. Duro not able to find the Winter's Bite this time. The immediate end, owner not in the area, just finishes the Sundered Sky, but Canyon already had that one in his back pocket, so feeling pretty good. And utilizing that Sundered Sky window, still ping-ponging some waves here. The Rift Herald now down to about 4,000 as Gumayusi Carrier in the area. A bit of a rotation down. The Keeper's Verdict comes through, but it's immediately buffered by the ulti from Canyon. And the heroic entrance comes down there as well. Justice Punch, fantastic. But the Yunara is dead. They've taken down the Poppy, but that is not enough value. And Keen will be wiped out as well. Doran continues the fight. This guy's Ambessa is absolutely absurd as he picks up the triple. Can it be the Quadra? He's tanking up the turret, and he will allow Ona to pick up the kill, although Chovy may not. So he's just going to get himself out of there, but he is the last man standing.
He's the only one alive on the side of Gen.G. And like
for Gen.G, 4-0-1, 1.7k gold lead just for himself.
And big spikes early in this game with the gold that Doran just picked up. So they're going to actually look to gank Doran himself.
Yep, looking for a bit of an angle here. Hextech Ultimatum comes down. Public Execution comes in as Carrier is going to evict the Camille. And now it's only Canyon and Duro that are down here underneath this turret. And Doran once again is going to survive.
Doesn't even have to flash in the exchange. Carrier getting huge value out of the Keeper's Verdict there to save the play. Now Owner's here and Duro's left alone.
Yep, he's going to put down the door. Tries to flash his way out, but there's a teleport coming in. Ulti from Duro coming on through here, and I think they know that this Braum is dead. Keen still going to go in, but Faker's teleport. Now Keen is in so much trouble. Ruler comes down, protects with a Slurkle. And that is going to be it. Oh, never mind the edge of the shockwave, and it's a double kill for Faker on this Orianna.
Saves the ultimate for so long, knows he doesn't need it for the initial kill. Now poised to take this mid-turret, are running away with game 1 of the series.
Yep, you've got Chovy now rotating down, but that will be feats of strength. Oh, never mind. Gen.G did lock down feats of strength by taking the top outer turret while we were speaking. But still, being able to break open the mid lane, a huge deal about it is going to be the question.
They just have to give it up. They have that control vision in the pit, and they're just very aware that to pull T1 in. They are going to get Faker's teleport for this.
Yep, that's what they're looking for here, I guess, is the teleport is going to come on through. Keen finds the hookshot angle. There's the Hextech Ultimatum. He delivers the Gargoyle on top. Gumayusi taken down immediately. Now Carrier is going to turn up as Ona with that Crescent Guard is looking for Keen and will be able to find him. It's a 1-for-1 80 carry for top lane, but T1 still looking for more in the 4v4. Carrier dives forward, but Duro's able to get himself out of there with all of his summoner spells. It just belongs to T1, and Gen.G are not going to contest. So, dropping the ball a little bit when it comes to being able to hold on to these objectives here, and T1 can also then augment that with this outer turret. Gen.G just lead to that one working, so he was sort of on his way in there, and then it sort of fizzled out. So he didn't have the access to that for the next target in the fight.
T1, I believe, had like 3 or 4 battles. Yeah, T1 need to pivot over to this Baron.
Well, I mean, Soul is going to be pretty important as well, but Gen.G, they are doing a fair bit of damage to this one, looking to clear out vision as well as Chovy slinks back into the fog of war. T1 is still very dangerous, though, as Keen looking to rotate up. And they have vision that this dragon is not being taken. This is going to need to be a turn from Gen.G. As Keen, he's just going to walk over here and look to start this one up as T1 just searching for where Gen.G went. This little runaround, this do-si-do that Gen.G did will be able to deny the soul.
That was
very
a really
cute.
high-value blue trinket here that actually identified that Doran got off the dragon. They then scried where he was and came over here.
That one back relatively well, as you can see. 2,000 gold at 30 minutes into the game.
And the turn off of Baron is kind of awkward for T1. It's going to be so reliant.
Oh, yeah. Public execution comes down. The flash forward from Keen, and Doran gets over the wall, but Keen follows him with the ulti. Canyon comes down, but I think this would have been a solo kill for the Camille, and I'm pretty sure she's online, but the jungler was in the bottom lane!
And that means they just have to hard send it in the bottom lane and try to get as many turrets as they can. They're going for mid first, and they're going to try to get that bottom outer as well.
Yep, the Baron comes up. The catch from the ulti out of Duro is fantastic, but the rest of the cavalry are turning up, and the outer turret is still getting worked on. Faker's still alive. Down goes Canyon as Chovy's heroic entrance doesn't look exactly like that, but Keen is still a monster. The Crescent Guard comes in from Owner, but he still goes down. Double taunt from Chovy, and the Winds of War will be able to take another one down from the grave. Faker is going to be able to shut him out, but difficult for Gen.G to do anything about, as Canyon charging that Vault Breaker. The engage Braum comes in from Duro as they're looking to split these fights, but Canyon is so difficult to deal with. Doran getting into that backline though, as now Ruler's doing his best to kite him out, and the public execution is ignorable, and now Chovy finds 3. Justice for Owner as it's a double for Canyon, and the Gen.G freight train is burning down the bottom lane as Ruler picks up his 3,000th assist, and I have a feeling the Camille's scaled in this game.
I think so. Down goes Guma. It's the full clean ace of T1. And we go back
to
and look
see
at
what they can do. T1 still formidable, still scary as the Slurkle comes in. Keen just halving the health bar of Owner. What is the Galio poke? What the heck was that about?
Big damage.
It's actually doing a fair bit of work. Here's Keen, finds the angle. He gets on top of Owner, but it's Ruler's damage that we need to be wary of. And he takes down Doran. The Crescent Guard comes in, but Chovy just says, no, you're not allowed to engage. Duro and Canyon dealing with Owner off to the side, and the rest of the fight is going to be there as Keen gets out of the way of Faker, and Faker will overextend, unfortunately. Chovy able to take that one down. Steadfast presence just doesn't feel very steadfast at this stage of the game, and Gen.G just think, nah, it's not really about the Dragon when we can kill a Nexus and take game 1.
I think the eyes were for Dragon. T1 get caught by the Keen flank, and their eyes are now for Nexus. Is Keen so far behind this game? How many games is this guy going to be? Like, remember his game was 1-4 on Gwen, and it just pops off later. This guy is taken over.
Well, Carrier now trying to be a hero, but that charge ain't going to work. Guma just dies in the blink of an eye, and the Nexus will explode. Gen.G looked. They gave Gen.G composition gets rolling. It is very scary, especially with the fact that you tag anyone, then Jin locks them down, and then you can find these picks one after the other. The follow-up that they...
His owner is
the level
3 Jarvan.
It's a bit scary. Hebapol does bring Carrier in there as we started off the fight. Gen.G get the information, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough as the flash out from Duro. The flash forward, the sidestep is not good enough, and that is first blood. The Jarvan just
and actually start to steal some of these camps away. This is a great way to play the Kiana. Is just hard farm, don't interact with lanes.
Oh god,
not again!
Bottom lane getting absolutely punished. The teleport in from Faker towards his bottom side as Gumyushi does have to flash, as Deadly Flourish will be avoided. The force shot not going to be enough, and he just reloads at him and dies.
And that's enough.
You're absolutely right, as the Roar of the Slayer does come on down. Canyon moving in as the flash comes out. The flash to follow, but Canyon misses the stun. And Doran's able to get out. Man, his early navigation of ganks has been so good this series.
Yeah, Canyon with a bit of a whiff. The first grub, and is now actually looking to try to take Ruler out of the picture here. Has Cataclysm.
Yep, Carrier is going to ult early. Picks up the aggro, and the barrier not quite going to be enough there, as there are feats of warfare picked up. As Faker in a little bit of trouble here, trying to rotate up to help out. As Molten Shield from Chovy comes in. Oh, the final auto is not enough to lock down. Yep. And Ruler tried to go for the invisible Deadly Flourish. Doesn't quite work out there. As Doran, this time with no flash, and he is just dead. That was a supreme...
A little bit further accelerated in this game.
As there's the Cataclysm onto Chovy. Remember, he used that flash earlier on. He's trying to get Tibbers to get some value here, but it's just not going to work out. That's a very strong Jarvan to take down the Annie Canyon. A little bit slow picking this one up. They'll take themselves to the Jarvan. Is a risk because he can just press R on you.
Again.
As, another bear comes down and another knockup comes on through here from Owner as Chovy. Just free food for Faker.
Stronger and stronger as this game goes on. And like,
I've seen this one before, as Chovy didn't have flash, but is able to walk his way out of it this time around. They're now looking for Duro, who does have a blast cone to help him out.
I don't know if that really will, Faker will really miss that realm war before this upcoming fight because they have full prio, but bit of a whiff.
Another bear comes down here as the Rune Prison comes on in. Owner moving back though, so Canyon is going to back away. Some Spell Flux connects, but otherwise not too much more. The Flash 4, and it's going to be the bear coming down. Faker will be punished as Carrier comes on through. Owner just gets out of there though, protecting that shutdown gold. And Carrier is going to have to flash, but I just don't know whether that's going to be enough as he's running, and that is going to be able to get him to safety.
Canyon, of course, starts this dragon up. Owner does have flash and could look for a steal potential here. Duro's holding the gate though, not allowing him to get in. Guma comes over, really greedy here.
Yeah, that is going to be the dragon coming on through. No Zenith Blade to land here from Duro, who is a bit far up, but it isn't going to be too much of an issue.
On the top side, and T1 are set up for this Herald now.
And this is going to be a difficult one for Gen.G to contest. Deadly Flourish onto Carrier, but he's not too worried about that. Has the Unbreakable Will, is now Canyon looking for an angle. He's getting in amongst it. The curtains have been called as he flashes out of the way of the Cataclysm. Duro going down very low. Gumayushi doing so much work. T1's health bars are getting lower. Keen right in amongst it, but Chovy not quite doing enough. Ruler just getting soloed out by Doran, and he will be able to finish that one off. Chovy in the back of the pit is just dead to the bullets of Guma, and T1 are just running the rift. Outside of Keen being quite frustrating, but he'll be zombified and taken out himself. A monstrous win here for T1.
Yeah, very happy mobility, great CC. Now as Sundered Sky's had it for a long time, and Owner is super fed in this game, and they're going to get this mid turret. T1's third turret. If you hit the turret, it could have been a little bit more high value. As Kiana, 1v1.
Yep, I'm not against Doran. That is not going to work as he does on this Aatrox right now. Level 12. And 2-1 and 0. He's got a little bit of a gold advantage against the Scion now as well, as Duro is dead. Faker Realm Warps in, but it is just going to be the kill going over.
As well as their soul laners this game. And Gen.G are just so far behind the 8-ball. Like, Duro keeps getting caught, just trying to get any semblance of vision as Faker may be caught.
Well, the flash is going to come on through. Double teleports invested as Owner is going to find Canyon here. There's the headbutt over the wall. Ruler in so much trouble. Deadly Flourish goes wide, and he is just dead, ladies and gentlemen. It looked like it was going to be a play from Gen.G, but T1 just turned it on its head.
Another ult from Canyon that just completely does nothing in the attempt to try to peel for his teammates there, but Carrier's flank. Chef's Kiss on this Alistair, 8 out of 11 KP this game. He has run it from start to finish. The rift belongs to him, and all of these fed T1 members as Faker takes a gold lead, side laning Annie here for Chovy. As it looks like initially like, oh, Faker's caught, but this is the traditional Faker overextending question mark. Now we win the fight, we've baited you in.
Triple TP, everyone teleporting into the fight, and Carrier just takes the AD carry, and Ruler, I mean, I don't think he started playing the game, but he's definitely not going to play the game in this one.
And hit Snake Eater, but Turret Eater is T1 down the bottom lane as they give Otacon up. They're going to get the Constellation turret here. They're scaling.
Yeah.
Just don't know if they should be. They're so far behind.
Oh, Deadly Flourish comes on in. It is going to be Otacon picked up by T1 very, very soon, but Gen.G are at least getting something for it.
Yeah, I mean, if they get double turret, that's a lot of gold, actually, over to Gen.G.
They will be losing this inner turret towards the top side of the map, so I don't see it necessarily being a phenomenal outcome.
It's not.
Gumayushi does take this.
It's not losing the game outright by trying to fight on Otacon, so keeps them in this game for the Seraphs in this game, and we'll probably build Zhonya's third.
Yeah, he needs the follow-up, absolutely. As all of Gen.G are grouped up, let's see whether they can actually find a target. His owner off to the side has been spotted. Keen tanking for a long time, though, and he's not going to be starting any fights at all. Cataclysm comes down. Owner just flashes out of the way of it. It's a lot of burst damage here from the Annie, but not full commitment. And Doran turns up and says, "No, you are not allowed to fight," and they agree.
This time Doran learned from not TPing until it was too late last time and say, I just probably just be there just in case. And you know, if they walk away, I'll just go side lane in the top lane. And look at the map. Like, if you toggled the vision for Gen.G, they can see, like, nothing outside of the base, except Canyon dying. That's what they can see.
Canyon is... Oh, the bullet! Oh, that was pretty cute. Getting the zoom in is a little bit more lucrative. That's what I'm learning here today. As Duro's going to face check, he has to be the one to do so, and unfortunately, he's dead. Very dead. If there were certain degrees of dead, he would be one of the... That's what I'm expecting. But also, it's doing a lot of winning in the LPL, right? Like, we know that it can win.
In other regions where they play very differently, I think it's very strong. And I also think that with how LPL teams play, if they clash with LCK...
there, but it looks like Gen.G are not going to be face-checking just yet.
Okay, this is...
Oh dear, never mind. Maybe they will go in. There's the Zenith Blade from Duro. He didn't really want to be there, and Owner is going to be able to take him down. The Supreme Display of Talent is decent, but not quite good enough, as down goes Tibbers as well. Chovy doing battle against Faker here, who flashes to pick up the kill on his opponent mid laner. And now Keen finds his way into the fight, and he's going to take the death exit this time around after being a zombie for just a little while. And the curtains are not being called for Ruler. I think they will actually be called for Ruler, as now Owner is going to be making his way over and looking to try and take him down. The Realm Warp comes in. The Flag and Drag doesn't do too much of anything as the Aatrox delivery comes on through. And Gumayushi's like, guys, why don't we just win the game?
They're helping and keeping the players from going back so they can win the game. That's what's happening. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a little bit of something like that. As they're doing their very best to kite Doran around here, who doesn't actually get the heal from the redemption, as Canyon looking to block off the next two that are making their way over. Deadly Flourish is decent here, as this is some yakety sacks coming on through here, as Canyon trying to get himself out. They have regrouped though, and in comes the cow! Carrier gonna be able to deliver a double kill over to Gumayushi, and that was a weird little passage of play, but ultimately it's going to be even more winning for T1, as it's given players like Duro the opportunity to respawn before they win this game.
It almost feels like a psychological warfare move here from T1, as they just smash them over and over again before the Nexus falls.
Yeah.
And Atlas, we knew we would, but we have a series on our hands now.
It was already all over our hands after game number one, and it is now being confirmed as T1 will make this one a best of three. Game two, Owner on Jarvan. We saw it.
You're playing into Chov's Wukong Ultimate Counter-Strike, so you don't need an engaged support here as T1. You already have all of that front line. This gives you kind of a guaranteed...
It does do a lot of damage there with that Empower. And only needs a little bit more. As the circle comes down, the answering flash is good. Doran didn't pick up the turret aggro. But Doran, I think, has enough of a lead to be able to get himself out of the way here. So Canyon just going to protect.
Now having this wave pushing over. Faker does have his ult, and they could look for a play. Keen potentially caught.
Yep, there's the counter-strike. It's actually going to get the value here as the seismic shove pushes him back. No flash available, and there's first blood going over to Doran's Jax. But of course, got that one in 2017.
That should be Dragon in exchange here for T1. You have to think his owner is clearing his jungle on his way over to that full control they have on the bottom side. TP is going to come through from Keen, who was holding the mid wave here, but so many plates, like you said, go over, and they get still sit on that 400 gold lead. And I think Gen.G really want to be ahead in this game quite significantly at this stage, and they're not.
Yeah, nice little charm is going to connect onto Faker here, but he's thrown a whole lot of rocks around. Actually flashes to get out of the way of this Grand Starfall from Canyon, and they look for the dive. There's the flash stun, and they lock down the kill. Still, Canyon is going to be taken out, so a 1-for-1 from the GOAT outside of the top outer turret. Yep, it's always good to appreciate. As Canyon is going to face check and isn't feeling fantastic about it. On the hunt is Gumayushi, as Ruler going to rotate over, but it's mainly just to watch this Pantheon die.
And assuming the ward was the reason why Faker was able to react that quickly with so high value, then they spot him and take him out again, as now Faker's looking for a Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, Ruler might need to ult here as the seismic shove is going to pick him up. Let's see whether the Pop Blossom is going to come on through. There it is. Duro going to have to flash out of the way, though the rocks go wide. But still, that is double ultis on cooldown,
plus
as well as a flash for this Nico.
Even a heal. Keen is going to try to get some value here in the side lane with 3 grubs on this Gwen. Will be answered by a teleport. He got some damage done. He wasn't able to get the significant punch back they were looking for.
As Doran just getting zoned away here momentarily. Needlework comes out as Faker throws an entire volley at Keen. Does have to flash. Not going to be resetting in any fights coming on up, as Double Dragon being considered here by T1. got a little bit close to an Earth, Wind, and Fire. Thankfully, we do have an angle for it, as it's another Ocean Soul, second in a row. And that's Feats of Strength locked in for T1 as well, as all 3 games, early game has belonged to them, as Doran going to get stunned up, does flash away, but it looks like it's going to be this turret going on over to Gen.G.
There's 2 turrets under threat here for Gen.G at the same time. We won't see Faker commit for this one, but the Herald dropped in mid with this wave here. It should just be a trade of turrets. Doran does lose his flash, but it's not really a trade up for Gen.G, and the game state for them is not where they want it to be.
Oh dear.
And this is going to be a collapse for sure.
Yeah, there's a Rift Herald on our way down here, as Faker is going to try and shove Keen. It doesn't quite work out here, as the Rift Herald is just going to bypass. They pick up the turret, and now the Cyclone on top of the Gwen. No way for him to get out of that, and that is just Ona once again. But still was overextended, and did see Ona get back into that Rift Herald, so it's likely that he was heading somewhere down, as he's looking to do the play one more time, this time without the Cyclone, but we'll see whether that actually matters as the Weaver's Wall comes down. Charm is going to miss, and Chovy has to eat so many rocks and has to flash, as now the turnaround potentially coming in here, as Keen looking for the angle, wanting revenge onto this Talia, as the needlework comes out. Chovy finds the charm, as Gumayushi finds himself so far away from the rest of his team, but maybe that's part of the play, as they go 2 for 1. I guess the backline ganking Sivir kind of worked out.
No, it absolutely worked out.
A little bit confused.
It was bizarre, but I think it was definitely a great call from T1, as Canyon maybe caught again. He's rooted.
Yeah. Let's see whether he can get himself out of this one, as the Cyclone does come in there from Ona, looks for the angle, but Canyon is able to flash his way to safety. Ruler now in an awkward position as Faker is teleported in, trying to get these feathers down, as Doran also rotating
very
around.
Quickly here, there it is to the top side.
Yep, Ona's going to be moving in. I mean, T1 have full information as to what's going on here, and Keen's already down to 50% health. Ruler trying to get some damage down. Gen.G are going to be looking for the turn as Ona moves on over, and now Chovy looking for the angle. Pop Blossom connects, finds only one as Faker flashes his way out. Doran avoids all of the feathers so beautifully, and it's the Nico that goes down first. The Wukong steals away the Otacon. Of course Ona does. The man's playing like a beast today. Keen does manage to find the value, and now it's Ruler's turn to pop off, as Canyon trying to run his way out. The seismic shove doesn't find the angle, but he still jumps onto a rock, as Doran's so scary. Finds the Empower, takes down the Pantheon, and it's Chovy and Ruler left alive in the end, but the Otacon goes to T1.
The Otacon goes to T1.
Team fights.
This looks like what the Legend Group games all looked like for so much of rounds 3 to 5. Where if you get Canyon here, I think he should just be able to get it.
Yep, there is the outer turret falling over.
Watch
so that
the
is
engage, and you're going down an item as the AD carry into the Featherstorm Meat Grinder. You're in trouble. Chovy may be in trouble.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to be able to find the charm onto Faker here, and does have to flash.
The placement of the rocks and the shoves have been so good for Faker. We set up Doran, of course, but that Gwen damage is going to be massive if you can get just a little bit of time.
Oh, Chovy off on a flank angle. Does get the Warrior Trickster out of Ona, but it's not a massive cooldown. Seismic Shove going to go wide this time. Canyon able to walk that one off. Gen.G with control of the river for the moment as Doran gets charmed up. But there's the Cyclone. Into the backline goes Ona, but he's kind of alone and hasn't really used his ultimate for much. Does flash to get himself to safety. As in goes Doran now. He will go golden, but this is so disjointed, and Keen is going to get on top of Gumayushi. Goes golden himself by so much space, but where's the follow-up? Keen just runs and will get shoved back towards Faker and takes a huge rock. That is going to be the dragon secured with the feather pullback, and now I think Doran may eventually die, although no, he doesn't. He has leap strike, so he's just fine. Keen for Dragon is the trade for now. Keen is very, very frightening and can now play a whole lot more aggressively with that extra shield, with the extra lifesteal. But that is going to be a phenomenal shove. Chovy has to go golden at the beginning of this fight as now Doran looking for the angle, tries to get the counter strike, but they take down Chovy. That's the biggest part of it. Faker gets into the backline. Duro just melting so incredibly quickly. Keen goes golden, but I don't think he's surviving for much longer, and Ona will finish off the Gwen. The entire top side are destroyed. Ruler and Duro not knowing what to do next as they destroy the team fight.
It's a smash win in the team fight for T1. The shoves from Faker, the Talia has just been out of control this game, and now just a lone bot duo trying to defend against this massive push from T1 to bring themselves to match point.
Let's see whether they can actually finish it here as Doran going in, flashes forward to get on top of Ruler, and of course the seismic shove there. This game is over, ladies and gentlemen, and T1 have match point now for the next 2 games at least.
Range brawly, but when you're looking at the draft here from T1, sure, the Varus has a lot of range, but you can just simply overwhelm him with.
I mean,
I use that like phrase a lot, you know. And
no, Chovy for an angle is going to get the flash out of Chovy. Already a successful gank from the guy that's been all over the rift in the.
Because he's a knower.
Huh. He has played a lot of like. I don't know. Okay, the hook going to connect.
It didn't look like it did.
Yeah, the knock-up is going to land.
And Baker's champion pool is so small, but okay, we're never going to talk about it because Doran's once again the target.
Yeah, Canyon going to look to see if he can throw a rock at him. As Doran is just traveling through all of these tunnels. At the same time, Carrier looking a little worse for wear as T1 looking to take down the Keen Sante, and that is going to be first blood over to Ona, and he should be able to survive. In the meantime, trying to get back through yet another tunnel, and Doran is just making them look silly, getting so much of the health back as well as he tunnels underground. Another tunnel going to be used. Man, he's like a kid playing on an elevator as finally he gets slammed into the wall and taken down, but he's claimed so many flashes.
T1 on the bottom side of the map with this Varus push into the lane-swapped Cassante. Definitely exactly what T1 wants right now, and we'll be able to get this
Canyon. Canyon going for the full wraparound here. As Doran, let's see whether he can survive this. As the tunnel comes on through, Duro still looking for the hook and manages to get him yet again. But I just don't know whether it's quite going to be enough because he gets underneath the turret. Will the Ren stacks come through? And yes, they will. Duro survives.
You really need to start getting online for this draft to work. The Cassiopeia can scale into a big damage threat later on, especially with this composition as Chovy may get caught.
Yeah, Destiny does come in. Miasma is down. Good position there as well as Faker is just going to get picked up and taken down, but it is a counter ult here from Ona. Still the Fate's call to keep Duro safe. The flash over from Chovy. There's that killer instinct we've been looking for. And it's 2 on the floor for T1. Gen.G looking for even more as the blast cone from Canyon picks up a rock, and Carrier finds himself in a very awkward spot. Ruler able to find it, and that is another hook landing here from Duro. Ruler just lets Carrier melt as that bailout does not work. A really great start here for Gen.G this time.
It looked initially like it's another confident Faker call. Or lethal tempo Varus here. I think with the low range comp you're into, you just want to be able to get through these tanky frontliners, the Cassante and the Skarner. It does make sense because Lethality isn't going to get you much into those targets, and if you're trying to hit a Cassiopeia, you're going to have to follow up with damage that they don't necessarily have, as Owner is here.
There's the all-out. Keen going to use that to try and actually go all-out as he dashes, flashes, and is able to make a lot of distance. Doran finds himself in an awkward spot as he does ult him, but that is going...
that one up.
Doesn't quite have his flash available, so it's a bit of a scary one. It's the hook going to connect. Duro! Oh, man, this young player playing very well, but it's a great handshake here from Carrier, just not enough to deal with the Impale, and this Renata pick-away is being punished.
These Gen.G Blitzcrank players, whether it's Duro this year or last year, man.
Like robots,
I mean,
is that a thing?
The Blitzcrank color scheme kind of fits Gen.G's colors, you know?
Hey, there we go.
A little golden tint to it.
Snowball this one through. Of course, 13.5 minutes, only 1,500 gold as the Destiny comes on through here. Canyon in a lot of trouble as he flashes over the wall. The Impale going to be avoided as Keen looking to try and duel Doran here, but it's a lot of damage out from Guma to help the Rek'Sai pick up the kill. And the flash hook! And it's going to be both of these top laners going down. The bailout not quite going to work here as the Impale comes through at the same time. Gumayusi is on the warpath, but so is Chovy. Finds the overextended Varus, and now it's Ona throwing chains around, but they are not going to do anything. And the counterpunch from Gen.G just a bit better.
Now Ruler just going to grab a plate here.
Information about that happening. See whether they can actually get in a position to contest. As Canyon going to drive on in, gets himself over the wall. It will be a 50-50, but it's Ona that wins it. Duro still hunting, looking for a bit of a target. Hostile takeover comes in as Ona goes golden. Keen right in amongst it. The double knock up from Doran's fantastic. He's being bailed out as well as Keen somehow survives. There is no way that he should be allowed to do that, and down goes Ona. Once again, every team fight is just Gen.G all the way.
Yeah, and T1 feel priced into these. They feel like they're behind. They do not want to just give up every objective, especially when you consider this mid turret is so low already. And this is going to go over to Gen.G. They cannot find a hook angle here, though.
Yeah, the Destiny is going to come down. They're going to look for Canyon, or at least look to tell him to leave, as he gets a fair bit of rock value. Held the hook onto Faker! Duro finds another one! And the attempted bailouts, but it's just too expensive. He's not leaving the police station this time. Down goes another kill, and it's a double for Ruler, making 5-0-4 now.
And a moment ago, I said it's a lead all of this. And ends up losing half his health bar. Your Doran bleeds out, and Chovy, is he caught or is he killing him?
He's killing him and caught. He's both. He's doing it. He's poisoned both of them. Doran is dealing with so many of these minions. Canyon's making his way over. Scorpion and Snake, they're both very scary, and they are just going to leave. So thankfully, if you do find yourself face to face with a Snake or a Scorpion in Australia, but we do have something.
This angle here from Duro. Watch this.
Yep. Oh my.
He's like, I got him. And like the angle made it almost look like he missed, but he's just gets him down just on the edge. And then they get slow from the Q here from the Skarner. Canyon
might have something to do with it.
Like the observers are watching.
Yeah, like, how does he do this?
He will be 3 levels ahead. Okay, now will he be caught by this TP?
And will this TP be enough? As now Faker trying to get on top of him. Duro is in position. As Keen teleports in as well, the flash out of the way, the hostile takeover, and Gen.G not going to be losing their mid laner in this instance, but they do manage to get the ult and the flash.
Ruler just pushing mid, and T1 need to rotate over to save it. Duro looking for an angle here to potentially catch a single target on T1's rotation.
This is the most dangerous part, is trying to travel to different places.
Yeah, don't tempt fate, Carrier.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Ruler able to do a fair bit of damage here, as Doran also going to get slowed down.
I mean, the carries are so fed here for Gen.G that, like, even when you catch them, air quotes, they're like, no, I kill you, by the way, and they just start attacking you.
And look at all of this vision here towards this top side at the same time. In 12 seconds time on the top side.
He's like, I'm so scared. Duro's like, I'm waiting for you.
Yep.
Here you are.
There he is, special delivery. And he will get some extra time with the bailout, but not very much. Chains of Corruption come in. That is an attempted steal opportunity here, but just slammed against the wall. The Otacon getting amongst it at the same time. And that is going to be Otacon secured by Canyon. He gets a casual kill at the same time. Double over to Ruler, and now Faker finds the gold card. Hook is going to miss, but the Twisted Fate surviving does not help.
The hook, but that is all you could say in the positive column for T1 as Gen.G look to set up.
Oh my, another one! Duro, it's okay. From now on, every single game, teams, they need to ban Blitzcrank. He hasn't even been prioritizing this champion. He's so good at it.
I mean, like, Carrier was the guy who caught aiming.
1-0-15.
I think aiming's feeling a little bit better. Carrier has to be the one to check, right? But
yeah,
like, you're playing without into Blitzcrank, which is why this is such a great pick from ahead. And that's why I said in the draft, I'm like, this is such a confident pick from Gen.G. Like, the draft was so risky, but they were confident they could pilot it. They were confident they could pull it out. And they certainly did, right? Like, this was match point on the line, LCK finals on the line.
Well, Duro's going to get a flash as he wanders on over. Chovy going to get ganked by multiple people. Petrifying gazes all over the place. But Gumayusi gets the shutdown, and an important one at that. 1,100 gold.
Plus,
they will trade their inhibitor turret for it.
Yeah, maybe some bounty gold picked up here, but this turret's so healthy. They have no wave. Canyon helps clear out the rest of that. So no inhibitor to go down, but the inhibitor turret does fall. T1 get the kill and the shutdown, but not that gold.
Can Canyon be damaged? Okay, maybe he can now, as the Destiny coming in on top of everything. Gumayusi starting to get some shots over as Canyon just drives his way out. Gumayusi still hunting for it. He flashes into the enemy base, gets impaled. Now he's in turret range. Duro comes over, and Canyon, yeah, he's a tank.
I get it.
Guma
knew the game was over. You gotta try something. I mean, you gotta try something.
That's called reading the room, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, he almost got him. It wouldn't be. You have to fight through Ren stacks and Smite.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna. It's not a 50-50 in this case.
Completely online. and then one hook had to be the miracle to save the game. Now it's just Duro hooking whoever he wants, and it doesn't matter. They won the early game. That Varus is not online, as we saw in the bait.
Canyon almost took it. Okay, just finds the impale onto Gumayusi somehow! And obviously he's going to survive with over a third health. Yes, reading the room. I'm going to try and read the room as well.
I'm like, you and I wanted game 5, and we get our wish.
Yes. This is going to be the inner turret taken down here. Without Gumayusi, there is not a way to defend.
This has been his best game we've seen in playoffs.
Yeah,
He's
and
19 out of 20.
Oh god, another hook! And it even caught Jonah Strong by surprise as Doran just goes down. Ona now dancing around behind the Baron pit, but Keen, he's a bouncer. He's going to try and stop him. Ona might be able to get in, but it's not going to be the steal. It's somehow Cassiopeia that actually gets it as the hook finally won. I see it miss. Good sidestep there from Carrier. Does it matter? No. No, it doesn't at all.
No.
He's still dead. He's going to buy a bit of time. That was such a cute flash. Such a cute flash. As Canyon going to pick up Faker, throw some rocks at him. Ruler looking to bounce his way over. And will be able to get in range. The Blast Cone is going to be able to buy a little bit of extra space.
Carrier is still running away, by the way, in the top.
Oh, okay. Well, Keen will find him. So there we go. Bought some time.
Because you know you're 10,000 gold behind. We're going to game 5. And it's just like Gen.G are slash dancing on you as we go to Silver Scrapes. Momentum is completely Gen.G's now in this series. Did this with Red Side. The Kalista pick worked a treat. I wanted to say I trusted them for the confidence in it, but I thought maybe we were just going to end here and Gen.G say no. Ruler 8-0-8 on his iconic Kalista.
And for me, this whole game is just Duro. This guy on this Blitzcrank, just incredible. I think that Canyon has come back alive. Chovy's come back alive, but Duro is just a man possessed on this robot. Let's see whether he can find another hook as they do get the knockup onto Ruler. Take him down immediately. The Impale is only onto one. Chovy still there for the DPS, but T1 finding kill after kill as Chovy, the handshake is fantastic. Owner is going to get taken down, but they take out the Cassiopeia. Can Canyon be damaged? Is still a question that we're all asking, and Gumayusi, he might be able to answer it. He does have the bailout, and as it turns out, no, he cannot be damaged. Canyon is immortal. He finds more rocks, and now he's just going to get to work, trying to use this lawnmower to take down Faker, not the Nexus. All three of them weren't enough, and the Scorpion will bring us to Silver Scrapes.
Canyon's got a heart of steel at the end of this game. Pushing champions on the side of T1 and the front line you have. You can just pop people, but he'll play Vex!
All right, it's been a while. The Vex is going to be locked in here for game of this series. Inspire Arena or go home, and then you have to play in the play-ins against the LPL 4th seed. If I get any added information, but otherwise we'll just go along with the game.
Yeah, I think Cagel's speculation is probably closest to anything we have, and let's move on. So, yeah, this is a bad matchup for Yone.
Faker is in a little bit of trouble.
Extra back off during all of that. Now the wave is pushing towards him as Doran is caught.
This is not where he really wanted to go for the honey fruit, and Chovy is right in position. Doesn't quite find the Q, and does find the ulti to pick up the kill there. Chovy might actually be able to find another one, and then does hit it onto Faker, who will be snapping back, but
But it's going to be an exchange here, 1-for-1 with the Grubs. There's a Chemtech Dragon, so pretty high value to grab this one early. Gen.G. I think they are going to be fighting a lot. It's going to be a lot of tension, and it starts now.
Paranoia comes down. The Nature's Grasp does come on through, but it is so much damage onto the Lilia, and she just gets obliterated. Carrier now finding himself in an awkward spot as Chovy flashes over to pick up the feats of warfare. And even there's trains coming into the top side of the map. Doran to try and boop Keen away. Keen just trying to have fun like the rest of his friends on this map, but he's a top laner in the end, and so he's just going to have to go back to Bitfo.
Guma and Carrier, with those 3 Grubs, are going to get the whole turret!
Okay, there is just first turret. This is what Ziggs is supposed to do. Get that culling over the top. They want Ruler to be able to actually fight in close range.
This is my favorite type of draft disparity is we're going to see another attempt to get Keen here, just thwarted by a rotation up. He's going to try to turn this around.
Yep, looking for the train. They will be able to knock up Doran, but the nature is grasping. Knocked back. Great satchel there from Gumayushi, but the quickness is so good as well. Chovy over to the top, and it is going to be the Drake being taken by Canyon, and somehow all of Gen.G does. Quickness, though, Duro missing that ability to engage, and it does look like T1 should be able to grab this, and there it goes.
Trying to play around that very defensively is, okay, Faker potentially collapsed on.
Let's see what Gen.G can actually get done here as he does bring back the soul, but there's the paranoia. The fear comes on through. Mega Inferno Bomb to try and offer some damage back, but it's not going to be enough. Faker is just going to whether it would have been enough. Does mean that Canyon doesn't have to invest his flash into the play. As Chovy looks for a bit of an angle there. Redemption for some support onto Doran, and that is going to be out of turret picked up. So, I mean, if you're ever going to put all your eggs in a basket, probably go with that one.
If it says Chovy on it, it's a pretty good basket.
Yeah, good basket, that one. As Nature's Grasp coming on in here, it's a big commitment. Mega Inferno Bomb onto said Chovy, but he isn't going to get taken down just yet. Now the paranoia, now the re-engage, and Doran is just dead. Still these health bars from Gen.G are so low. Canyon having to get himself out of there, and Ona just spins on top of this Rakan. Canyon somehow lives for so incredibly long. Gumayushi is so healthy as well. Somehow, it's a Gen.G advantage in the fight, but it's T1 that get on top of this dragon.
I think they're thinking better of it though. Faker!
Oh, the fear does come on through still. Faker not going to die to one combo, but isn't going to be able to take...
You can see even that's why Chovy went to try to trap him there and blow him up with that combo. Little foiling that could not.
And it is the dot going to be enough from Ruler, but not too much more is going to come of this. The other one has been started.
And he's just going to buy an item before he goes in.
Yeah, Redemption coming on through. That is going to give them the information that this has been taken, as there are a lot of presents, but they're not being woken up as Chovy off to the side. Faker comes on in, there's the paranoia. They're looking to try and turn this. Chovy lands the ult, gets in there, and both of the carries just get destroyed as Lilia and Yone go down. Doran tries to get out, but now Carrier not going to be so lucky. Feats of strength come in as well for Gen.G as they take the Otacon. And
the whole point in this game, when we first saw the Chemtech Dragon, we're like, we don't know what soul it's going to be. It's an Ornn again with Mountain Soul. Another Mountain Soul game here. Removing turrets off the map.
And this bottom outer is going to get taken. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to deal with the wave. And this is what this composition from T1 does very well. It's why Gen.G have been unable to take...
the ornaments and the Mountain Soul makes that late game feel a lot more palpable than it did before. It felt like before you're like, oh, 1,000 goldie. That's use poke to try to control objectives. These are the questions they're going to have to answer as a culling comes out from Ruler.
Wow, that's doing a lot of damage. As Ruler has a ton of farm in this game. He's ahead of the clock by 20 CS, which is kind of ludicrous.
I mean, they did a lot of damage here. They have control of this Baron Pit now.
Yeah, Kane trying to look for that knock-up. Doesn't quite get it, as he could theoretically go to sleep, but I don't think they want to use it on Justin Ornn, who can mitigate the CC. Faker here towards this bottom side of the map.
Chovy
trying to get that split to work.
He should be able to get this turret with the TP there to the mid lane. Okay, it doesn't have really a thicker wave. I thought he had a bigger one here. It does have another one coming, but it's going to require a response here from T1.
Yeah, Faker is back. I'm not going to be invested into this or anything like that. As Canyon moves over. Watch out, Eep there from Ona. Will do a fair bit of damage, but doesn't quite find the pirouette. As Bowling Ball collected there by Canyon, who does take a little bit of a nap, but not hit by the sweet spot of that one. Redemption does come on down here as Paranoia coming on through yet again. Ruler finding the angles there, and Chovy connects so many ultis. There's the fear onto Faker. He's unable to actually make his way forward. As Duro not going to finish off Doran, who is on his last legs in this fight. The ulti from Faker comes through, but it's onto Keen, and he's basically immortal on this Ornn. Ona still able to get some work done, though, as now he's spinning around this battle. Keen just headbutts Doran to get him out of there, and Canyon and Chovy, the last men standing on their side, whereas it's Gumayushi Ona.
How much poke can they land before Gen.G start this dragon up is the real question. Keen?
Yeah, how good is his sleep going to be as well? There's the knock-up, and Carrier just dies! Mega Inferno Bomb also not able to do anything! As Gen.G, they did push the Paranoia button, but now the Redemption comes down. They're basically full health, and the ulti connects onto Guma! He gets feared, and you can understand why he's scared, because this Gen.G are on the warpath path in this game. Faker gets over the wall, but Chovy is lurking, and he will be able to finish off the Yone. The resets come on in, he finds the ult, he finds the Q, and there's the double kill for the Vex. Gen.G, they take the soul, and now they're looking for Baron.
They're looking for Baron. They have a 3,000 gold lead. That collapse onto Guma was maybe the winning moment here for Gen.G in the series. His owner looks for a trap here, tries to put those health bars low, tries to dissuade them from doing a Baron, but he's got no flash and no chance of stopping Gen.G from taking this. They didn't necessarily want to show it today in this series, but they bring it out.
Ulti just barely missing on Aguma there, who does have a fair bit of wave clear, but unfortunately against Baroned up minions, the Ziggs loses a whole lot of that power.
Chovy and Canyon
still looking a bit absent, Canyon as well. This is what happens when Gen.G are firing on all cylinders. As the train has left the station, there's a knock-up onto Carrier. This tree not lasting very long. The knock-up immediately afterwards onto Doran as well, as Keen manages to find that angle, and now Chovy is looking for the ulti. This time he connects it. The ult from Faker to try and pick him up though, but unfortunately these wallets be heavy, and down goes the Ziggs with no response.
They clear the wave, they buy themselves some time in this game, and they're certainly going to need it. 40 seconds on this Ziggs, 30 on the Jace, and the map is falling around them with this Baron buff wave coming through. It's just a matter of time before this base is cracked open. Looks like Gen.G might have their opportunity for revenge on KT, and potentially then revenge on Hanwha for the Summer Finals in 2024. One last opportunity to defend for T1.
Bit of a face plant here from Keen, but we'll see whether they actually have the damage to take him down. I don't even think Nexus turrets are really doing anything to this on. First Nexus turret will be taken out as T1 clearing out the wave, and with everyone respawning and some lower health bars, it looks like Gen.G are trying to get themselves out of there. Faker going forward though, looking for an angle. Bowling balls connecting as Ona doesn't quite have the lilting lullaby, and it's a flank TP angle from a Ziggs. Chovy is going to find him, but this health bar is so... Oh my god, he just died in an instant! He walked around a corner and just... Chovy went boo! And he's dead!
And that's the end of it!
Oh my god, Faker is now taking so much damage. The train drives on through there. They're getting the fears. Ona's going to be taken down, and the Nexus will follow. Gen.G will avoid the play-ins, and you will see the MSI defending champs at the...